welcome everybody and wrongdoers alike. This is a Do the Wrong Thing presents another Running Back Cinema, where we discuss, debate, and determine our favorite rankings of the franchises that we love. With us today is the one and only Cam motherfucking Archer.
And I'm really getting mad about this in the movie that it took them so long to say that The Godfather 2 was a better sequel. And they tried to argue that T2 isn't better than Terminator 1. That was dumb. Yeah.
Who?
In the movie, when they're arguing about sequels.
Oh, yeah.
See, this is why I asked how many days ago. To see how fresh it is in the brain. Also with us, the director, Devon Johnson.
It's getting deep.
How many more of these do we have?
I said it's getting deep.
4?
We have
4,
we have
4,
3, 4, and 5. So 3 more.
Hey, they've been heavy on the promo, man. I've been seeing a whole lot of
I'm worried.
commercials for the new
I'm very worried, but we'll cross that
Worried?
bridge.
You
worried because of it?
I'm super worried.
Scream trailers.
Yeah, I'm super worried. But
I've been seeing a lot, like hella
very,
social
very
media
worried.
push.
Yeah, it's heavy right now, and I'm very worried.
Also with us, someone I would never forget. Running the boards. The guy that makes this whole podcast go.
Young 9/11.
Big Body Bane himself. Big Body Bane himself, Josh. Mar. I can't believe Tina's, I can't believe you went to that well twice.
Praise be to Allah.
I, of course, am your host, L.A. Today, we will be discussing Scream 2 and our Scream Running Back Cinema rewatch. Cam Archer, the resident Wes Craven of rap, is going to give us a synopsis of Scream 2, the follow-up from Scream 1. Before you do it, I have a little bit of fun facts.
I was gonna save them for the end, man. What you doing, man?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say the year they came out in the box office, but please
go ahead. No, continue. Go, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the box office for this was 172.4 million, which did roughly the same. I think a little bit less. I think it was like a million less.
A little bit less. Yeah, a little bit less. And there was a lot of hype behind this movie, so you know.
Yeah. I mean, the first one hard to beat, right? I don't think this one was a step down per se, but it's not as.
It's not like a giant step down, but it's a step.
Yeah, down. It's not like as. Yeah, I don't want to disparage the movie, but it came out in 1997, almost less than a year than the first movie, which is crazy.
Correct.
If you think about it.
It was pretty much less than a year, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. It had some fresh new faces. We'll go over cast in a bit, but director is Wes Craven, as before, and written by the same guy who written the first one, Kevin Williamson. But I'll let Cam break down the rest to get us started.
So this movie begins after the events of Scream 1, obviously. Sidney, Randy, they're in college now. You know what I'm saying? They're living that life. Gail is still writing books about tragedies. And Dewey has a bad arm.
And a lip. Don't forget the lip.
They've made a movie about the entire situation that happened to them in Woodsboro, and they've called this film series Stab. That's what makes this whole series very unique, because not only do they play off of their own movie, they play off of it even down to the costume. So it's the same costume that the actual Ghostface really wears is now the costume for the killer in these Stab movies. Mm-hmm. So this time our opening has black people. Got to bump us off quick. We have Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps in roles that start the film, and they are both brutally murdered at a movie premiere of Stab. And it's very symbolic of all these people running around in Stab costumes because they're giving them out promotionally at the theater, and they get bumped off. And they try to make it seem like it's a coincidence, even though they go to the same college as Sidney. And then once another student, sorority student, dies, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's murdered on campus. They kind of realize, okay, this is a pattern. So now you've got Gail Weathers pulling up. You got Dewey coming up to check on Sid to make sure she's okay, Sid and Randy. And you have Cotton Weary. The recently released Cotton Weary is here because he's looking for his 15 minutes. He's ready for his, you know what I'm saying, Lee Schreiber. He's here for his 15 minutes of fame. And he's not getting it, and he's not too happy about it because he deserves that. Hello. And basically that's the plot of our movie is Sidney has a new boyfriend. Can she trust him? Can any of her friends be killers again? Will everybody survive from the last film? What's going to happen in Scream Número Dos? And of course, who are the killer or killers? And we get that in about a 2-hour package. And we figure that all out.
That was a surprise for me when I paused the movie and saw 2 hours. I was like, whoa.
I think that's one of the...
lot into this.
The end of the film drags to me. There's too many moments of Sidney running behind a pillar to run to the opposite side with a movie with a music cue. Way too many moments like that. But I didn't think it was. I think it doesn't. Like, I still enjoy Scream 2 a lot. As far as the cast goes, for people who do not know, of course, we have my wife Neve Campbell returning as Sidney Prescott, David Arquette returning as Dewey, and Courteney Cox returning as Gail Weathers. We have Sarah Michelle Gellar as Cece Cooper, the sorority sister who dies. We have Timothy Olyphant as Mickey. We have Jerry O'Connell playing Derek, who's Sydney's new boyfriend, and we have.
He didn't even give him a last name.
We have Miss Salt, who's a new reporter who's following around Gail, trying to be just like Gail, and we have Elise Neal, a very she's kind of an underappreciated black actress playing Hallie, who's like the best friend of Sid in this movie. And we have Joel, played by Dwayne Martin, who is the new cameraman for Gail Weathers, and he's black, so that's completely new, right, guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Survives, too. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, you can have great cameos as the people who are playing the characters in Stab for the movie.
Yeah. I think Courteney Cox, right?
No, it was Courteney Cox.
Oh, sorry, not Courteney. I'm reading Courteney Cox on my phone.
Yeah, it's Heather Graham plays the role of Casey Becker. Tori Spelling plays Sidney, and then you had Luke Wilson playing Billy Loomis, which was pretty funny. Stupid.
Yeah. Let's talk about the opening of this movie. They do this really fun, like, acknowledgement of how black people are represented in horror movies, only to then make them the first
slaughter
characters
them.
who die. And I'm
in
just
such
like,
a ridiculous fashion for him, anyway.
And what's crazy is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, she was Omar had already done Juice by that point. He had
Juice,
he was a recognized
learning.
Yeah, he was a recognizable name, and then you also have Jada Pinkett Smith. Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth, Pinkett.
That was when she was starting to really take off. Yeah, she was really starting to take off at that point. Yeah.
So I imagine Wes and Kevin had imagined when casting this person, because I believe they were on, if anything, I think Jada was on some of the box art or the posters or something like that.
Yeah, and there's maybe like one promotional shot that has Omar Epps in it. Otherwise, there's nothing. But Jada was in most of the posters, and she's in a lot of them because they have the Scream 2, and it's one side's her face and the other side is the blue-eyed face again. So
right. Yeah. So I imagine that they wanted to somehow keep the spirit of the first movie of like getting a relatively named actress to kill in the first.
Bumping her
but
off.
I thought it was kind of in poor taste of like you acknowledging the fact of this is what happens to these characters in movies and then killing
that's
them.
Kind of all of the Scream movies, though. They're acknowledging all this shit and then doing it.
I get it. I just hated it watching it happen.
I understand.
At the same time,
especially during.
I was just like, yeah, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
But I mean, as an opening scene goes, it's fun. It's definitely fun.
And even though her getting stabbed in the theater is like, oh, come on. It makes sense the way these white people were running around in there. Like,
also, for Jada to be there for the short amount of time is she made sure her presence was very much like that scream, and then the bend down death.
Yeah, she fell back. Yeah,
she eating up all the scene.
No sound after that. It's just like, nah, stare at her body, nigga. Stare at it. My first note was they really started the movie with a D'Angelo song to pander to us, and it worked. Okay, I was in there, I was grooving, boy. Every time that shit come on, man.
I couldn't help but to think of Cam when they standing in line, and he was like, "We seeing Sandra Bullock," and he was like, "Yeah, we see if she's naked." I was like, "That sounds like a Cam ass line to me." I see why he loves this movie. Oh shit! Also, Omar Epps is very horny.
Sandra. Oh yeah, he's
that nigga
was a horn dog.
I had forgotten the knife in the ear scene, and
that's how
as soon as it
you thought about Scary Movie, didn't you?
Yes, the dick. I was like, that's right.
The dick in the ear.
because they make this the sound the guy makes to draw him in is like it sounds like Sweet Nothing.
Somebody's
I guess,
in there fucking.
but
it sounds like
he's like
fucking.
yeah. And he's like, he's so horny.
Like, oh yeah, I want to hear this.
To the dirty ass fucking bathroom stall door.
I mean, but you also got to think, how did they know that he would go into the bathroom and have to use the stall? It's just weird.
Okay, we're gonna have to get into the fact of how omnipresent these killers are.
They're very good at their job.
They're amazing work.
And I wrote, imagine getting given out the costume of a real life serial killer at a movie premiere. I wrote that down as well. Like, what are we doing, man? And why did Omar Epps go pee before the movie started? Why did they get their tickets, go in, sit down, and then she's like, I want popcorn.
Popcorn.
Man, we gotta get it right now. What you talking about?
Also, this theater is I've never seen a theater this rambunctious before. It was like a high school.
Seriously? Nah, see, that's the problem. We've discussed the You Got Served theater. And there was also the theater.
It was an epic time.
When I saw The Grudge, the theater was, people were walking up and down the aisles, going and talking to people. Like, it was.
Oh yeah, no, I never had that before. So that
it was fun.
Watching the Star Wars Episode 3 movie, it was crazy. You had guys dressed up like Chewie sitting in the aisle.
Yeah, were they standing up doing the fucking Chewbacca sound?
I've been to some wild ones. Matter of fact, I feel like that was kind of common pre the theater that got shot up with the guy wearing the Batman.
It is. It was.
Oh yeah,
because that was when they stopped telling people that you couldn't wear masks and like costumes.
Mm-hmm. I do love the introduction again, where we see like the evolution of technology, where you get the phone call and Sidney gets the call. He's like, it sounds like the killer, right? He's like, no, this is. And she's like, yeah, Corey Stills, 555. He was like, oh shit, don't tell my mom. He's like, yeah, you know,
caller ID on his ass. Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's
whole
cool.
Code breakdown.
Nice, I like that. This is smart writing. I love this stuff. And then you meet her fine black roommate,
Friend Hallie.
Yeah,
but let's not speed through that scene. All right, let's slow it down a little bit, man. Let's paint the picture. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
It goes to the dorm room. You know, saying the phone rings. Sidney wakes up. She laying there, damn near naked. She rolls over, picks up the phone, tank top on. That's it.
You okay, Cam?
Give me a minute. Oh. Snap. All right, yeah. So, elite. All right, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? Meet the best friend, and then it kind of gives you the roll through of characters, you know what I mean? Because then they go through to the class of Randy chopping it up with Timothy Olyphant.
Great scene.
Great scene. They're talking about movies. Is this a sequel to what happened in Woodsboro?
Expansion on the video scene from the first
saying that sequels suck, and they're trying to talk about that. But it's Timothy Olyphant. It's Joshua Jackson getting a cameo in this. Who would then he just wanted a part, and then he would go on, of course, to be in. He would go on to be in Urban Legend as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was already in Dawson's Creek at that time, right?
He's already in Dawson's Creek for sure, but he goes on to be in another horror movie, which is Urban Legend. And they're all talking to Randy. I don't hate Urban Legend at all, actually. I think the ending, the twist at the end, it was good. But my question was, as I started watching that scene, is that the youngest we've ever seen Timothy Olyphant?
So when he popped up on screen, I was just like, I know who that is, but it's like somebody CGI'd him young. Because I was like, he's always seemed kind of older than what he is. And even in this, he looks like he's in his like maybe mid-20s. He looks like he's too old. He looks like he's older
to be there.
In there, yeah. He looks like he's older than he should be in this fucking theater class.
He's much too old to be there. But yeah, they're having a great conversation where the class just gets let out. Apparently, Sidney just shows up. It's like,
it's come and go.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Sidney shows up to talk to Randy, who's still very much in love with her, and I love that for Randy. He's a bit more tolerating.
This is one of Timothy's first. One of his first acting credits, so
really
is probably one of the youngest that we've seen him.
Does a great job.
Yeah. So as all of this is starting to go down, she meets Sidney's boyfriend Derek, who's like pre-med, played by Jerry O'Connell, my guy from Tomcats. That's how I remember him. fondly. I love Tom
he's the Tom Cruise fill-in.
He's in such shitty movies, but I love Tom Cats. Tom Cats is horrible. Y'all ever seen it?
No, I know the name.
So it's him. It's fucking Gary Busey's son. It's fucking what's her name? Shannon Elizabeth. Because this is the Shannon Elizabeth run when Shannon Elizabeth was killing shit after fucking American Pie. But the movie is like they're all best friends, and they have a bet that they put money in a pot so that the last one who gets married gets the money out of the pot. And he goes to Vegas for one of the friends' weddings, and he ends up losing all his money and fucking betting the deed to his house, and he's broke now. So it's between him and Gary Busey's son to see who's the last one to get married, and he finds out that Gary Busey's son used to have like a crush on this girl who's played by Shannon Elizabeth, so he goes to like try to cut a deal with her. And she just does it because she actually hates Gary Busey's character because he like took her virginity and then left her out on the beach somewhere.
Oh my God.
So she's like, yeah, I'll help you, but I get a cut of the money. He's like, cool. So the whole plan is to make those two fall in love and get married or whatever, and then she'll split on them. But of course, they start to fall in love. Movie's terrible.
The movie has a 14% of Rotten Tomatoes.
Horrible. Hey, what I said? I said it was bad, right?
Go off. Crazy, it didn't go off.
I said it was bad though, right? You see how I prefaced it with it's horrible? I just like it. You see how I can admit when movies are bad and I like them? So that night, as Sydney is out with her folks, you know what I'm saying, gallivanting around at a sorority party, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character gets killed. Right?
Oh wait! You gotta reintroduce Courteney Cox because she's back on the scene at this point, right?
Not until the murder at the actual campus, I believe, is when she really kicks in.
Okay.
I think she does pop up before. Yeah.
Yeah, she pops up before because the sorority girls come invite her to the party.
Yes.
But that's when
she pops up with her new cameraman, black guy, who doesn't really know as much, but he's like, all right, whatever, I'm here. I got a camera. And that's when you meet all the, Miss Salt, the other reporter who's just trying to get a word in with her. And then you see that Dewey's there as well, and he's coming. Yep. He's got a limp now, and his arm's fucked up from when he got stabbed in the back. So that night at the sorority thing, while Sarah Michelle Gellar's in the sorority house alone, she gets bumped off. She gets tossed off of a fucking balcony thing. And stabbed, because that's what happens here.
The good jump scare in this, where the girl comes from
around the corner,
the dark room,
out of the darkness,
Like, what are you doing?
And of course, her going outside with the house phone and losing reception. We all know that life.
That was funny. It was like, he's like, I can't hear you. It's just like, all right.
It was just like her slowly going back into the house. Yeah, that was a good build up, because then you realize that Ghostface then gets into the house because she left the door open. So it was a good build up.
You also get a heads up that there's two Ghostfaces right from this jump, because as the person's talking on the phone, the other Ghostface comes in, has no phone.
Doesn't have a phone.
Like, okay, clearly two. Yeah.
Clearly there's two again. Now they also do a good job to set up the doubt within Derek, because as Sid's going to leave, grabs her coat, and she runs into Ghostface again.
Ghostface omnipresent.
Ghostface ain't running.
This nigga is literally standing outside. He's standing right in front of the door.
He starts walking away. So Ghostface could have just snuck around the corner, came in the house. So while she's running away, fucking Derek comes around the other side and is like, yo, I'm gonna go in and I'll go after him. And then somehow he just gets his arm cut and Ghostface runs away. And he's got a real bad cut, but no major arteries. Nothing major.
Before we leave the scene, two things. So the first thing is she gets her coat, right? She's about to leave. The phone rings. It's not her place, not her house. It's the first time in this place, presumably. Phone rings, and she's like, I gotta answer it. I gotta answer this phone. Goes to answer the phone, right? Of course, it's fucking one of the Ghostface people. She turns around. The door is closed, right? He's closed the door behind her. She gets around him, goes to the door. The door won't open from her side. Don't know why. She's inside, right? She leaves.
Correct. Yes.
Derek comes to the front of the door, tries to open the door, can't do it.
Something's a little different about that door.
After Derek gets his little cut or whatever, they go back to the door to Dewey there, and I was like, but the door is not open. So I was like, what magic did they use where they can lock the door from the inside?
Apparently Ghostface had a magic lock and a voice changer.
I was like, that's crazy.
So Dewey comes in, they're like real convenient that nothing really happened to Derek. But now they got this, I think it's immediate. Yeah, it's pretty much like immediately after. So Gail comes up to to Sid, who tried to shoot her some bail, like, hey, yo, she saved our lives, Randy, like, you know, cut her some slack. And so she comes up to her like, hey, you know, what's good? Can I holler at you for a minute? And then who's behind her? Cotton Weary. Because she just tried to set up a fucking random interview with Cotton's big ass. And that gets her popped in the face again by Sidney, which she deserved. God, I love you, Sidney. Yeah. Fuck! Fuck! So, she pretty much says, hey, yo, I got these agents following me around now. You know what I'm saying? Derek, maybe you should fall back, nigga. You know, I don't know if I really need you around me. And Derek's like, well, you don't think I'm the killer, right? It's me, baby. I'm pre-med. And she was like, nah, nigga. I just need to be alone with my thoughts.
What?
Murderers.
Is Neve Campbell the actual main character of this? Because we're kind of glossing over the fact that they spent a lot of time with Dewey and Courteney Cox. Like, we had a lot of time with them.
Not as much as with Sidney.
Are you sure?
Sidney.
Because it feels like they had to reignite this love story. Like, we get bits and pieces of like why they're no longer together, because she wanted to write the book and still be famous and yada yada yada. And he tries to make it seem like he's smarter than the average bear. And that
worked out great for him, didn't it?
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you noticed this after your 86th time. Why is it that David Arquette acts as if like the sun is just always in his face,
in his eyes? That's
yeah.
David Arquette's face in every movie.
That's the regular
face.
David Arquette.
That's not something new.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're just waiting to dive into the fucking Criterion Collection catalog of David Arquette with films like Ready to Rumble and Eight-Legged Freaks. But in all of his films, those are the faces he's making.
He's always doing that, because even inside,
yes. Nigga, I saw Eight-Legged Freaks in theaters. What the fuck was I doing with my life? That's how much I go to the movies. That's how much I go to the movies, though. I saw Eight-Legged Freaks in theaters.
Brave man.
Oh shit, I broke one. We get my guy Derek singing on a table and giving up his. He basically gave Sidney his chain, which is like, in the hood, this is death sentence.
I hated this moment, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
This is when the Scream franchise decides to get further away from horror and more into camp. Like, there's moments where like it sort of just kind of leaves. Like, I think we're done scaring you, right? Like, I think we're almost out. We're 1 foot out of the scare part. Let's just go full camp. Because the whole audience, this is where lies of the 90s really start, where like grand gestures, like niggas think like that's the way to fucking do it, is to sing in the lunchroom and everyone's gonna be like, yeah, and start clapping. No, it's fucking creepy. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. Then again, it's a white school. They might be into that shit. You never fucking.
I guess, yeah, you're right.
It could be totally true. And, you know, so they're cool with that. I also like that before that you get, like, Mickey trying to say, like, maybe it's Randy. And they're like, man, no, fucking, that's not Randy. You know what I mean? Like,
Randy.
Yeah. But, yeah, you Randy do get a lot of...
No, I was saying Randy and Dewey have the little moment of, like, breaking
That's what I was going to say.
Sequel.
Yeah, they start breaking down the whole sequel thing and who the killer could be, and they need to figure out who it is because, you know... It's just going to get nasty. But they go through all the targets and they even plant the seed of what the eventual twist will be with the whole... Think about Mrs. Voorhees. She was a great killer.
Mm-hmm.
So... my poor boy Randy.
Yeah.
We also have Mickey teasing trying to date Hallie, which he never does because, you know, races don't mix, baby.
Yeah.
And,
I thought they were together at one point in the movie.
Yeah, they try to kind of make it seem that way, but they're not together at all. But yeah, so at one point you have Dewey, you have Randy, and you have Gail all outside, and fucking the cameraman's like, "Hey, yo, I never read your book, but what the fuck was with your old nigga got gutted? Hey, nah, I ain't wrong with that." He's like, "Maybe we should just get out of here." But then he's like, "You know what, man? I'm about to go get some coffee, some donuts. You know, I'll be back in a minute."
Some crack. So I was like, word? That was a line in the movie. Yeah. Crack.
So while they're chilling there, he picks up Gail's phone, if I'm not mistaken. He picks it up.
Yes.
And it's the killer. And they say, "Hey, yo, just keep him on the line, Randy. You know what I'm saying? We gonna look around." And I also like they pointed out, like, they're like, Randy's like, "Did you get stabbed in your back? What's with the limp?"
Yeah.
He's like, "It severed a nerve."
Yeah.
So they leave Randy, who, I don't know if you realize how they tied this together. I think this is really well written. Has horrible sense of his surroundings.
Yeah, apparently. It's
like
think back
He didn't realize
yeah.
Billy was behind him. Billy's right behind him while he's going on that rant, and then bow, grabs him. He has horrible senses of surroundings. So he's on the phone going through all these older 80s slasher movies that take place at colleges. Nice little nod. Mm-hmm. And then starts going in about how Billy and fucking Stu were idiots. And next thing you know, he's chilling he's going up to people. He goes up to some guy that's near the van, Gail's van, going off. How they got into Gail's van without an alarm going off, I don't know. They just leave shit unlocked, I guess, on college campuses.
Also, Courteney Cox is wearing the hell out of that white shirt.
Oh, she is wearing the fuck.
She's wearing the.
I'm not a Courteney Cox guy, but she was wearing that shirt.
She was wearing that shirt, boy.
With the black pink combo. Go ahead, girl.
This is a 90s love right there.
Go
Yes, sir.
ahead, girl. I'll be there for you.
Yes, sir.
And of course, my boy Randy gets scooped up by the woman killer, gets ragdolled and stabbed up, and nobody heard
broad daylight.
Nobody heard it because. Nobody heard it because of the loud boombox and active African American dance moves going on.
When this scene happened, I laughed so hard because he's getting mollywopped in the van, and just out of nowhere breakdancing with the boombox like it's the 70s. Like, who is still carrying this fucking
Hey, yo, no. In the 90s, like, boomboxes were still a thing. Hey, no, boomboxes were still a thing in the 90s, though, so we got they were.
Damn, that's crazy, dog. Randy getting killed to breakdancing.
It was so sad. Insane. I was so mad when Randy died. So they find Randy's body. The cameraman says, "I'm getting the fuck out of here." After they find Randy's body.
You know what? For a second, I was like, was there a black killer? for a second, because I was like, all right, they set this up kind of well, because I had a little shadow of doubt.
Yeah, so he gets out of there, and while all that's happening, Sid doesn't know what's happening. She's at the library, and she's on a real old school computer. You know how shit go, with a black guy giving her tech tips. I love that, because if I was him, I'd be like, no, you just gotta close that one down and sit on my lap on this computer.
Even though she could call 911 in the first movie. She could call 911 in the first movie for the computer, but this time...
Computers have advanced. They've passed her by.
How does this work?
I think she probably stopped caring about computers after somebody tried to fucking murder her. Might have slowed her down a little bit on her progress.
It raises the knowledge.
Well, somebody just messes her, "You're gonna die tonight, bitch." She's like, "Oh, shit. Hello? Police officers around me? The cops can't help you, slut." Like,
yeah, I'll check
and
this.
Then what do? They go, "Hey, yo, stay right here. We'll be back."
stand kind of offish to the side where we
and
can't.
And then here comes Cotton again, like, "Hey, yo, look, let's go on Diane Sawyer." You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the fuck, Barbara Walters. Hey, let's get this money. Come on, Sidney. Come on. Hello, knock knock. He knocked on her door.
So fucking funny. Sidney.
Hello.
Diane Sawyer.
So, yeah, man.
He's crushing it in this scene.
He does a great job in the scene.
He's really crushing it in this scene.
He does amazing. And it was good. What the fuck kind of shoes are those? He does a great job in the scene. But yeah, and of course the cops are like, "Hey, yo, fam, what the fuck are you doing, big dog?" And he gets taken into the station. And they're like, "Hey, yo, why don't you chill the fuck out, B?" He's like, "I'm innocent. God damn it, I'm a white man and I'm innocent. Leave me the fuck alone.
Hey, yo,
I don't have a knife over somebody's body."
He turned his white privilege up to 11, boy. It was like, last time I checked, raising your voice isn't illegal in this country.
Oh, man. And, of course, you got a great performance there by Sidney. She's like, "I got to call," like, just getting frantic about, "I got to call Randy's mom." And then being like, "You know, it's okay to break." She's like, "Not for me." You know what I'm saying? "I can't break." You know what I'm saying? "I'm fucking Sidney Prescott, bitch. I can't break, nigga."
Terminated 2.
These are thug tears, but I ain't gonna break, nigga. They say, "Hey, don't worry. These cops are gonna take you to this special place. They'll keep you safe." Yeah, sure. We've mandated a curfew, so you know, yeah,
you should be good.
No one's gonna get out of this area, and they do. But so Sidney,
the worst fucking cops.
The worst cops ever. It's just two detectives.
Isn't that a horror film trope? Is like inept police officers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The police are ever what saves you.
When we talked about the Halloween, where they literally gave the two police officers goofy music, clown music, as they walked out of the house to let you know that they are just not good at their fucking job. They should have did that for this one. Because you mean to tell me, on an empty street, where there's full purview, left, right, in front of you, that the guy in the fucking Scream costume was able to run up on the driver's side
and
bust
the glass with his fist.
They're in the middle of the road. There's plenty of room.
There's so many ways.
He busts the window, knocks the dude out. I guess the
counter argument could be that these usually take place in like small towns, so maybe they're like, this isn't like LAPD. This is like Wichita.
The fact that other officer did not take his gun out immediately and blow 8 holes into this nigga.
No, my best part is the cop who gets out and then gets in front of the car. Hold it, asshole. They're in the car. They can hit you with it, stupid. You fucking clown. What the fuck do you mean?
First he gets his head. He has his head kicked in because Mr. Ghostface climbs on top of the hood. And so then he gets out. The fuck? Gets surprise kicked, even though you know his ass is up there with just a knife. He not once did he unholster that shit during that whole fight. Not after he was on the ground.
You got to learn to use your facilities when you have them. Just like we're about to use this commercial break. We'll be right back after this. But yes, we'll wrap up this scene. We can wrap it up and we can go to what happened there. But yeah, so this cop gets in front of the car and it's like, "Oh, freeze, asshole!" And Ghostface is like, "Oh no, what will I have except this gas pedal?" And then runs him down.
Let me put this in drive real quick.
Just runs this nigga down, and not only that, the cop who's already basically dead gets a bullet through his face like his final destination, right? And then Ghostface is laid out in the front seat.
I want everybody to know that if you're watching this movie, even after the pole was through the head, he still had the urge to shoot something black. That nigga was itching to shoot some black shit. He couldn't wait.
My question is, in those cars, is there not like an unlock on the driver's side to just unlock the back door so they don't have to crawl over the body the second time?
I don't know. But I gotta admit though, this led to a fantastic drama.
There was a very tense scene where they're in the back of this police unit vehicle that has the caging, but they break through that and they have to crawl over the knocked out Ghostface's body out the driver's side window. And then they both get out. Very tense scene. They go run away, and Sid goes,
I gotta see.
And of course, Hallie, her friend, is like, "No, we gotta run away. That's what the smart people do. They run." It's like, "No, I have to. I'm tired of running. I gotta know who it is." Now, believe it or not, I don't blame Neve here. I blame Hallie. Why don't you just go with her?
No,
y'all can still run.
If you think about this scene longer than 2 seconds, it will all fall apart. So when she's in the car, she takes her sweet fucking goddamn time reaching for the mask instead of just yanking that shit off like a Scooby-Doo. Then she fucking hits the horn and is like, "Oh, guess I shouldn't try to pull his mask off again. Let me just get out." And then tells her to get out. She gets out fine. They both start running. In the time that it took for them to run to the edge of the street and for her to be like, I gotta see it, this nigga got out of the car silently. Shut
the door.
Went around the construction, which there was a lot. He had to fucking...
all the way around. Gotta be at least a block.
Go all the way around. By the time she took... In a matter of like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
To stab her. That shit was insane.
And then just barely chase Sidney. Just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So while this is happening, just a little bit before that, they realize that if the killers always watch, at least Gale and Dewey realize one thing early in the movie that we never discussed, which was this is almost like a copycat killer kind of thing, because everybody killed, their names relate to the names of original victims in the Woodsboro Massacre. Mm-hmm. But they also realize there should be footage of this person because they're always near the area on the phone, so they can see everything. So if we go back on the footage, maybe we'll see where this killer is. So as they're going through this footage, trying to find it, their footage is then all cut off and then shows footage of when the killer went after the niggas at the theater. By the way, that's a really empty bathroom and a really empty concession stand for an opening night. Just saying.
Yeah.
And then they realize, oh, now they're on the camera because Ghostface in the building, bitch. And so
also,
they
this guy, this couple, AV geniuses, right? Because they had no idea that they was going to show up in this room because they didn't even know they was going to find the room. Was able to hook up a whole setup.
Well, remember, Mickey is the film student, so he might have taught her.
This might be true.
So, so they run out, and eventually, what happens? Dewey gets stabbed in the back multiple times.
How did the Ghostface killer end up in the projection room to get around Dewey, to get back downstairs, and then behind Courteney Cox?
Villain superpowers.
It's, again, if you think about it longer than 2 seconds, it's insane. But shout out to Courteney Cox, because the way she dove across that table, you would have thought she was going for the rock on a loose ball foul. She went out of bounds for that shit. I said, damn, what a great hop.
Mm-hmm. But as she's coming out of the building, she runs into Cotton Weary, who's got blood on him, and he's like, no, I found Dewey. He was stabbed. I'm like, God, And she's like, no, you're a killer. Get the fuck away from me. And she runs out, and Miss Salt is on the phone. She snatches the phone, says, the killer's Cotton. She calls the police. The killer's Cotton Weary. Cotton Weary. And then we get that hard cut.
We kind of glossed over the fact that Dewey just fell down the steps all by himself. No one tripped him.
Nobody
he just
tripped
fell
him.
down,
Just fell.
and then got stabbed in the back.
And then got stabbed multiple times in the back again. Also, while this is happening during this very strict curfew, the frat and one of the sororities scoop up Jerry McConnell's character Derek for giving out his chain, which they said there would be repercussions for, and they take him into the theater room, because another thing we didn't point out was that Sidney's doing theater.
Yeah. And they get a respectable actor to play the drama coach.
But my thing is, why are you trying to keep this poor woman in this play, this very violent play, which is a dichotomy for her life? You're a fighter. Say it. You're a fighter. Say it. I don't believe you. So they take him to the theater room. They tie him up, and they're like kind of like hazing him for what he did, and he doesn't care because he loves Sidney, man. And then we have Sidney. Now that we've gotten all that caught up, Sidney comes back to the school, and Sidney, for some reason, immediately goes to the theater room because she hears music. That's well, no reason to go to find the sheriff.
Clearly, she go there first.
Clearly, let's call him on Little Voices. So she goes into the theater room, and all the set pieces come down, and then Derek is lowered, and he's like, "Oh, jeez, I didn't think I was gonna get out of here because he's all fucked up." They basically hazed him and let him fall asleep there. She starts to untie him, and then the killer comes up, and you realize that the killer is Mickey. And Mickey takes off his mask, and then says, "Whoa, Sid, I don't know if you want to let him down, because we partners. This is my guy. He's stranded me. He'd kill us."
Great scene.
Great scene. She second guesses herself. She's like, I don't know if I let him down with this another Billy Loomis situation. And Mickey's like, well, don't worry, it's not, bitch. Bow, shoots that nigga in the chest.
Which I was genuinely shocked by. I was like, oh shit, okay. Did not see that coming.
So his whole defense is going to be that the movies made him do it. He's like, yeah, don't worry, we got another special guest coming. But my whole thing is going to be the movies made me do it, man. All these movies and Christian groups are going to want to help me. I want to get caught. I'm not trying to get away with this shit. It's me. It's Big Mick. So he's like, my special guest is here. The door opens and Gail walks in. And you're like,
I was like,
and then right from behind Gail is Miss Salt, the reporter. But Sidney looks at her and is like, Mrs. Loomis?
And everybody in the theater went,
like Billy's mother? Yeah.
What?
When? Yeah, 60 pounds and a little work, but yeah, that's Billy Loomis's mom.
A deleted scene that I missed in Scare.
And Scream. Yeah, so she's like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm here. Revenge time, bang, bang. And Billy's like, yeah, just wait till the trial. Because now he's in his overacting bag for sure. Now he's over the top at this point. Derek, wait till the trial. It's going to be awesome. And she's like, oh, nigga, ain't no trial, nigga. Bow. She shoots. So Debbie shoots him herself. And he just, oh, that's it for him. And in the process of that, as Gail's about to try to run away, Mickey gets the one shot off and catches Gail in the gut. She goes down off stage.
Oh wait, you missing some key stuff here. You missing the chain? right? When she takes the chain off.
Oh yeah,
slap it.
Well, because I told you there's a lot of running around that's inconsequential. A lot.
Then she uses the set to fight.
Yeah. Well, I did like the one line that kind of hit me. You know what I'm saying? Kind of moved a little bit when he was like, just like Billy Loomis, and she has the chain, and she's like, "You forgot one thing about Billy Loomis. I fucking killed him." I was like, "Yes, you did, girl. Yes, you did. Damn, yes, you did."
The funniest part, the funniest part of this whole scene, catastrophe, is that she knocks down what are supposed to be bricks, right? And she gets dropped in. I was like, those are styrofoam.
And why were there so many sparks whenever she turned the levers like it was fucking Frankenstein?
It's dangerous ass fucking theater department.
It was such a that school needs to be shut down. So she comes out, and of course, after her and Debbie have the long diatribe about Debbie saying she's not a bad mother, whatever. You're slut mother. So it goes back to that for poor Sid, like it's her fault. Her mom's a slut.
We'll keep going back to that well. Apparently.
That well is never dry. It's like 9/11.
Literally. What? My God.
So as they're having their fight, Cotton Weary comes in. He grabs the gun that had been tossed by Debbie that Mickey once had. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on in here? Everybody shut the motherfucker up. What's happening?" And Debbie tries to convince him, like, "Listen, we could bump her off right now. You become the star of the show. You feel me? It's all about you. That's what you want. You want your fame, right?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't know.
Points.
And Sidney was like, he was like, "Yeah, I bet that Diane Sawyer interview sounded pretty good right now, right?" Sidney's like, "Consider it done." He's like, "Bet." Done. He shoots this bitch in the neck like she's dying from secondhand smoke. Just a big ass hole in her throat.
I've never seen a greater mental dap up than consider it done, nigga. Consider it done.
Cool.
Tight. Solid. Get Diane on the line. Get Diane on the line. Oh, man.
So they pop her. Gail gets up because she's cool, even though she got shot in the fucking gut.
Yeah, and then, bounce off the ribs. Too skinny.
Yeah, bounce off too skinny. Yeah. And of course, the last pop up scare isn't Miss Loomis. It is Mickey, and then they both light Mickey up like they was in the gun range. And then she shoots.
He jumps up like
Debbie
Kermit
in the head. Yeah. So she.
Like, what? Why did he do that?
Oh man, I told you he was in his overacting bag as soon as they said he was a killer. So they pop Debbie in the head one more time just for good measure, and as they leave, you realize Dewey is somehow still fucking alive. And when the reporters come to talk to Sid, she's like, "Nah, you gotta talk to Cotton. He's the hero. He saved my life." And it's like, oh, now Cotton gets what he wants, which is his 15 minutes of fame.
None of this makes this makes sense at the end.
None of it makes sense.
They have the ambulance say one bit of line to make you believe that Dewey's still alive. He was like, yeah, stabbed him in his old scar tissue because apparently that's
not murderable
material.
Yes. It's like mesh. It's like
Kevlar, built-in Kevlar
fiber.
back.
Kevlar fibers.
So let me just get stabbed a bunch of times so I can be stab proof.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a callus from lifting weights. You know what I mean? You get callus on your hands. You got callus
also,
back.
The way the carry man shows back up out of nowhere, just shows up
behind
he's like,
the ambulance. Let's get it.
Hey, yo, I'm back. Like the old days. He says that. He's like the old days. Nigga, I bet you less than a week ago.
Now that the killer's dead, let's handle this business.
Sidney giving Cotton like the old man nod at the end of the movie, like, when you like, bitch, he almost killed you. You was one Diane Sawyer interview away from death. Like, why are you giving him the nod? What is happening? Oh man.
Just some other things I have for this. Rebecca Gayheart is also in Urban Legend, and she plays one of the sorority sisters who lives. I always find that good to know.
That's the curly girl?
Yeah, Rebecca Gayheart.
Okay, I knew I seen her for something.
Mm-hmm. She was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was like the almost like Angelina Jolie double that he kills with the spear gun. Tori Spelling playing Sidney pissed me off because Tori Spelling is funny looking. I've always felt like Randy should have been with Sidney or Dewey. I feel like either Randy or Dewey should have been with Sid, and we could have killed Gail. We could have killed Gail and kept Randy.
it seemed like Dewey was kind of into her a couple times, but maybe that was just like brotherly
affection. Like that more in the series. But yeah, she even says like Big Brother came to check on us kind of thing, and I'm like, nah, fuck that, fuck that. It should be all together because Gail is trash. Like she's supposed to be this award-winning journalist, and her question is, "You have any suspects?" That's you award-winning bitch. Why are you bumping in front of the line? You got some hard-hitting questions.
Yeah,
Gail.
she didn't ask nothing of importance.
She asked nothing of importance, bro. She's never asked an important question except for did Cotton do it? That's the most important shit she asked. She got 2 book deals and streaks in her hair. Nice white shirt. Where's that white shirt?
Your streaks look good.
Yeah, nice streaks. Even though you said that meanly. Debbie, or was it fucking Miss Loomis or whatever, was also Aunt Debbie on Roseanne.
Yep. Yeah, Auntie Debbie.
Which is cool. And of course, Jerry O'Connell was not just in Tomcats. He has one classic movie to his name. He was in Stand By Me. He's the fat kid from Stand By Me.
Fat kid. Yep. Mm-hmm. You're always making fun of the fat kid.
Yeah, I don't like Stand By Me though. It's just a little too white for me.
Damn.
It's just a little too white.
I understand.
We weren't allowed to roam like that through white areas. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Yeah.
Antonio, you've been conspicuously absent from this episode. It's almost like you. Do you feel forgotten about? Do you feel like Bane?
No, y'all was cooking, so I was letting y'all cook.
What did you think of the film?
You jumped in the kitchen numerous times before.
Y'all had way more enthusiasm than I would have had. So
you see how you be disrespecting this franchise?
Go crazy.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you right now, my nigga.
It's crazy.
Keep playing.
I did franchise like this.
You keep playing.
Wait till we get the Fast and Furious. Oh my god.
You keep saying it like I don't like that.
You better be excited.
I can't tell.
I don't understand why you keep thinking that.
You better be excited for family, nigga. Better be excited for family.
But yeah,
I'm definitely calling out all the ridiculous physics.
Nigga, I am too. We gonna do it together.
What are your thoughts on Scream 2?
I mean, it was cool.
This nigga.
I
hate this nigga sometimes.
It
was cool. Solid.
I'm not gonna lie. I did laugh. Again, it's hard because I'm like watching this movie with like the scary movies like in my head. So then kind of seeing the nods are kind of cool. But for the most part, like that first scene was really, really funny to me. Like not the first scene, but them dying in the movie theater. Because that's the first thing I thought. I was like, all right, I couldn't tell if this was like, are they trying to troll this by actually doing it? Because like you mentioned, they mentioned the fact that this happens and then they did it. So I don't know if that was like,
well, this happened. This is still before a scary movie though.
Yeah, that's true. But like this is a problem, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna kill them both in the movie theater.
Yeah. Sorry, black audience. All the black people still die.
Sorry, blackies. You still got the end.
You thought you had it. Well,
but
no,
again,
I mean Dwayne lived, so I guess that's something.
Yeah, and I bought it because again they killed off Drew in the first scene of the first.
So it wasn't
movie,
a bias.
So I guess,
it wasn't a bias.
I wasn't really tripping, and then they did let what's her name? Elise, is that her name?
Elise Neal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
lived for most of it.
Yeah. To jump the gun, she's already my winner of the
Elite Milk.
Is it? Well, technically it wouldn't be milk, but
she's
the
elite chocolate.
Yeah,
elite chocolate milk.
Yes, she's a winner. It's Black History Month.
Oh man, if man, I gotta be honest. If there wasn't one person in this movie, she would have won it for me. But like, I don't know. There's rules. There's rules to the
Courtney
game.
got very close to that award. Courtney
Not
got
even
white
close.
shirt.
Sydney has really, really bad luck with boyfriends.
Absolutely. Well, she had great luck with this one. She just blew it. I think it was pre-med, loved her, was willing to go fight a knifed killer in a house for her.
Also, isn't she like 30 in this movie? Because she's supposed to be like fresh out of high school. Yeah.
In real life, how old was she in this movie? She was probably like almost, I don't want to say at 30, probably close to 30, yeah. Because you got to remember, she wasn't that old when the first one happened.
Yeah. That would make sense, though.
So she was probably like in her mid-20s. Because right now, she's 49.
Okay.
And that movie came out in 97. Yep. So she's not that old at that movie.
20s?
Yeah, she's still in her 20s. I'm trying to play my baby out like that. Trying to age her up. I appreciate that. So, I mean, the one fun fact of this movie, which is the biggest fun fact, I mean, I'm sure LA has the same thing, is that there is the whole 4 killers script theory.
Yes.
I'm sure you have this as well.
Yes.
So, what I didn't know how major a deal this was at the time, but this was one of the first really big internet leaks of a film ending. Mm-hmm. that happened. Like it wasn't something that happened commonly. This was one of the first big ones because how huge this movie was, as hotly anticipated as it was. But in the script that leaked, there were a lot of differences that I had to write down because there's so goddamn many. In the original script, Joel, played by Dwayne Martin, is actually in the friend group, and Randy is the cameraman. He's now Gail's cameraman.
Mm-hmm. Which I think I would have preferred.
I don't know because I was making. He doesn't like her. He never liked Gail. But it would have cameraman.
It would have been. It would have gave an opportunity to have him as one of the killers. Well, like it would open it up a little bit more.
But he was still going to die. Unfortunately, they were still going to kill him. Mickey was not a killer, but he was with Hallie, so him and the black girl were together. But then he gets killed. He actually would have gotten killed by both Ghostfaces at the same time, which is you've only seen as a part of something else in another movie that wasn't actually.
It would have been unprecedented for Scream.
It would have been very unprecedented for Scream, especially at that point. You wouldn't have seen it. So originally in this leak script, the killers were still Mrs. Loomis, but it was Derek and Hallie were the two that were with her, working together as the actual ghost faces. And then at the end of the movie, Cotton would be convinced to also take part in getting Sidney out of here. And in the end of that version, everybody basically died. Sidney dies, Cotton dies, Gail dies. Everybody dies.
Cotton had like a shootout, fight out. Yeah.
Yeah. And they both die. Like the end of that movie was everybody's dead. That's what they say.
That would have been a crazy fucking.
Even there's some commentary where the producers and Wes Craven kind of corroborate that story as well. But that was like what they originally were shooting. And once that got leaked, though, the script got reworked and some alterations were made. Mickey became a killer. Hallie dies. She's not one of the killers. Some things changed around. Now, the problem is people don't know if Kevin Williamson's full of shit, but it seems like he is. It seems like he's the reason why it leaked. He fucked up the way he was sending out the script. The script leaks, and now they have to edit it. He tried to make it seem like, oh no, that was just one of the dummy scripts that we wrote up. They weren't actually real. And then apparently there's even a version where Dewey was a killer that leaked out there. But he tries to make it seem like, no, there was just one of many that we wrote, and it seems like based off everything else that everybody else has said, nah, he just fucked up, and they had to redo it. Because if you're gonna keep rewriting scripts to throw people off the scent, why keep the biggest reveal, which is that Mrs. Loomis was one of the killers? So,
right,
it's weird.
I mean, players fuck up. You know what I mean? Players fuck up. The only bit.
There's a reason he didn't write 3. Okay.
Right. Yeah. There's only one last fun thing that I had that I don't think anybody else saw. So they're in the scene where Sid pulls. I can't say his name. Randy pulls Randy out of his class. Right. They're walking down, and Sid is talking to him, and he just uses like a British accent for no apparent reason for like a minute. And Jamie Kennedy was on a podcast, and they asked him about it. He said he bust out laughing. He was like, "I did not plan that. That just sort of just happened while we were doing it, and they kept it." So yeah, that was just off the cuff, just a weird thing that he decided to do. He's like, I honestly don't even remember doing it. And then Jerry O'Connell shows up shortly after. But yeah, that was the only other weird thing that I thought was pretty funny.
Also, Kevin Williamson is in the movie. He's the guy interviewing Cotton at the beginning when Cotton's on TV. Oh, Kevin Williamson's is the reporter talking to him.
I missed that.
Yeah. And that, my friends, is Scary Movie numero dos. And Scary Movie tres is where it gets real messy. LA has finally watched Scary Movie 3. I'm very intrigued. What did I say? Scary Movie 3? I'm looking at your name. That threw me off. So Scream 3, we'll be doing that one next. LA has watched it. Please don't watch Scary Movie 3. It's terrible.
Yeah, please.
I can't wait. I'm waiting with bated breath to hear how Antonio goes in depth and does a deep dive on Scream 3.
We're gonna make this nigga do the recap on the third one.
It's gonna be a quick recap.
Tell us about the movie, Antonio.
It was alright.
There's a nigga in a mask. People die.
It's one of the few. I mean, it's one of the few. I think movies work, or I like when movies are self-aware. And this, at least,
is definitely self-aware. That's for sure.
At least so far, in this franchise, this is very self-aware. Like this sequel is aware of the fact that it's a sequel, and it kind of plays on some of those tropes. And so it's as soon as you almost start to lose interest because of the silliness, you realize that they're in on it which is kind of like, all right, so we're all in on it, so it's fine, you know.
Yeah. So let's hand out some awards, and then we're going to be ranking these movies as they go along. I think it's pretty obvious that Scream 1 is above
pretty
Scream 2.
obvious.
Do we have to?
Right
Yeah.
No, we don't have. Shut up, Antonio. We don't have to do it.
Do we have to? I mean, there's not much debate there.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, guys. I don't think there's not going to be much differentiation when it comes to the end of the season.
No.
There will be in the middles, but not in the stars at the top. So we have the Hereditary Award given.
Oh, wait, I have one fun fact.
Oh, hey, look at it.
This nigga's holding up to his title. How about that?
Sorry, I forgot about it. I think he had to submit this movie like 8 times to get the rating.
No, that's the first one.
To get the R rating. There was something about.
That's the first movie.
Was it first one or I thought it was this
First
one?
one.
No, that's the first
That
one.
was the first one. Okay.
That's
This
the first one. They didn't want to give him an R rating.
There
Hey,
you
I
go.
appreciate the effort, though.
This nigga got a movie
There you
on
go.
back.
Hey, but I appreciate the effort, though. He tried to come through with the heat.
go.
Hey, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Fuck that nigga. I appreciate you.
Google lied to me.
Hey, I'm not even knocking you. I appreciate the effort.
No, I love you.
Now,
I love you.
Google literally lied to me.
I love you as a
Hey,
brother.
This website literally says 25 fun facts about Scream 2.
I would not.
And list that. So hey,
Hey, no,
I know that was Scream 1.
Hey.
That could be true for Scream, but he had to do that for Scream 1, definitely.
Yeah.
He had to resubmit
maybe
that
he had to
bitch
do
a
it
lot.
for all of them.
He could have. I mean, probably for 2 and probably not so much for 3, but all right. So,
Yeah.
now we have the Hereditary Award given to the whitest decision made by a character in the film.
I'm proud of every unit.
Proud of every unit.
The cop in front of the car.
100%. It's that whole scene where the cops get murked by
Shit's
barehanded
stupid.
almost.
By a man
He
with a
broke-
knife.
Hey,
2 niggas with guns.
with guns.
With a guy
Incredible.
who's not an abnormal freak of nature.
This
Just
nigga had
making
enough
him
time to bust. He had enough time to bust the window, then get off a whole motion stab inside the car with neither one of them grabbing their weapon to stop what's happening.
Or just grabbing his hand.
Anything.
Just anything. Grab
Just
something.
Anything. Do something.
Common sense.
Press it.
Something.
How about pressing the gas? Do that
too.
at the very least. Jesus Christ. Yeah,
All right,
no.
so I already know where Antonio's going with this, but the Sidney Sweeney Award, given to the most elite milk in the film.
It's Black History Month.
So you
Man, I don't know.
Milk.
Yeah.
All right,
No, man. I'm gonna have to
give
give him to Courtney, man.
giving it to Courtney. All right,
That
so
white
seeing as
t-shirt
it
was really
is,
doing that.
Damn,
as it-
y'all hate us. That's crazy.
as it is Black History Month, I
crazy.
got to give it to Sidney.
She was wearing a black tank top, so I mean, it technically
My
counts.
nigga, even the outfit at the party, little sheer top, jean jacket, some pants.
Very,
Goddamn,
very
Sidney.
90s. Very 90s.
I don't even like the shorter haircut like that, but you know what she do? She make it work. She know.
Keeps it for quite some time.
I don't know. I don't even know if I think I do have one. What's that's called Bars Award, given to the best quote in the movie.
Oh, it's 100. It's 100% for me. The ending it was consider it done. that line fucking does it for me.
You know, my favorite
love
was, isn't Mickey supposed to be dead? The quick fake out.
Yo, they lit him up like it was a Godfather's movie. I was like,
He went
yo.
out like Sonny. The aim was what got me. They damn near didn't miss a shot. They lit that boy up. Antonio? I know
I
you
didn't
wrote
have one for
down,
this one.
Yeah, I know
Then-
you wrote down plenty of them, huh?
Nah, nothing.
It's really gonna be the one thing you forgot about Billy Loomis. I fucking killed him. That was great.
Yeah.
All right, the Damn Son, Where'd You Find This award given to the best song on the film soundtrack. Once again, not a good soundtrack for Scream 2 either.
Here's a fun fact I found out about the music. So Dewey apparently has a
Ass.
theme. Dewey apparently has a theme, and that theme is a piece of a theme from Broken Arrow, which belongs to Hans Zimmer as a credit. So if you look at the credits, Hans Zimmer is credited in the movie because they used the piece of music for Broken Arrow to represent when Dewey shows up. So that's
I mean, you already hit me
It's
with
Hans
some fun
Zimmer.
facts. Because why was Hans Zimmer doing the score for Broken Arrow?
Yo.
John Travolta, Christian Slater.
When work calls, you answer.
I guess so, nigga. I didn't know he needed to check that bad. I'm always down bad. The Bron Award, given to the actor that put the film on their back.
Oh, man. I want to give it to Randy, because Randy did such a good job. I loved him in this movie. I'm going to give it to... Do I want to give it to Sidney? I don't know. I feel like Dewey and Courtney was in the movie way more. They almost fucked on the professor's desk while they're trying to figure out the evidence. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Dewey. Dewey survived a second back attack. He deserves this. He literally put it on his back. He literally.
Ghostface was like, Ghostface was like, "You want me to hit it from the back?" And Antonio, what do you got?
I'm gonna say Sidney. This is LeBron on Cleveland. She's got some help, but still, she's LeBron.
Yep.
I like it.
We have the rewrite. Make one structural change to the first, second, or third act. I'm not killing Randy.
That's fair.
Kill Gail. We don't need Gail.
I don't know.
I'm not killing a black woman in a movie theater.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine. I was like, let them live. Kill somebody.
Let it be a white girl. Let it be some white girl. I don't care.
Well played.
I would have been fine if Omar died, but at least,
white man.
At least let Jada
Sorry, in this masculine dominated society, we can kill a white man in this scene.
Yeah, no, the movie scene was the one that I want to change. Also, I would have preferred them getting the mask halfway off before he would have jumped and started to strangle her or some shit like that in the car scene. Get it at least touch it. Get it almost off, and he has to fight to get it back on. At least create some more drama with that. But
I feel like that's going to be your answer. But lastly, we have the Daniel Caesar Award for the best part of the movie.
Ooh, it's the showdown, just because of how ridiculous it is. Of
so many pillars.
It's the fact that Sydney lives because she agrees to do a Diane Sawyer interview. Also, from the angle that Cotton is holding the gun, he hits her in the chest, which would have technically hit Courtney. Sydney. It would have technically hit Sydney too. No, if you go back and watch, the bullet wound is right here. It's right above the chest.
She has one in her throat.
I don't know. I have to go back. There's a big ass hole in her chest. I was like, yo, there's no way he hit her there.
It's from the boulder.
The paper mache.
The papier mache. The best part of the movie to me is
slapping a nigga with a chain.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how you felt about it, but I was aroused.
Call it ID chain.
Well, I mean, if we're being real.
Man.
Yeah.
Big Body Bane is going to work today.
I'm going to go with the Sarah Michelle Gellar death.
Okay.
It was very well built.
It was.
They built that up.
The whole idea of someone stay on the phone for a long period of time for no reason. She was like, who do you want? And he was like, I want to talk to you.
I'm trying to bitch.
I'm hanging up now. Don't you fucking do it. Fucking kill you. No, that scene is pretty good. What else we got? Was that the last one?
That's the last one more, yeah.
That's the last one. Fun movie. I would give it a 8. I had a lot of fun with Scream 2.
Jesus Christ.
Give it an 8. So much fun.
I needed a professor like you in school.
That's a hell of a slant to grade on, man. Antonio, I need to recover. What are you
Josh,
giving this?
Do you remember what we graded? Did you write our grades down last? Whatever that
one. He said, I don't give a fuck.
Whatever you gave.
Whatever that one was, 0.5 lower. I don't even remember what it was.
Well, I gave the first one like a 12, so
Yeah, that's fair.
this is definitely gonna take a big drop off. But
It's a sliding scale.
yeah, this movie's like at best a 7, at best.
Man,
And that's me just being generous to the tank top
That's
scene.
me being more generous. Favorite franchise.
Yeah, because I'm
I know
realistic.
I'd have blast. I'd have blast.
It's not a bad movie. I'm just not giving it an 8, nigga. God damn, nigga.
I'll give it 8. I give it 8 because it's rewatchable. It's very
rewatchable, yeah.
It's very rewatchable.
It's a fun
and I would
movie.
enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's a movie you can run back and enjoy. Yeah. So I mean, Bane, what'd you give it? You still ain't watching, huh?
Just like the last one, I'll give it a 9 out of 9.
This nigga, man. I'm gonna start watching the movie. I'm gonna start watching it with you guys. You know, I'm gonna watch it as the series goes along.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I had a lot
You
of
have
shit.
Paramount Plus, I'm sure. Or you can
Do I?
steal it from
I
someone.
don't know if I do.
You could jack somebody. And now we get to watch.
No,
we
I
get
got
to
all
watch
three
The
of you I can
Last of
steal
Us
a
tonight,
login
right?
from.
Yeah, Last of Us comes out.
Yeah, Last of Us is on tonight. Let's go. All right, yeah, man.
Antonio didn't give it a grade.
He said whatever he gave the last one, half
I said
point lower.
0.5 lower than whatever I
Okay,
did last week.
all right.
I don't remember what that was.
I think it was a 6, something like that.
Maybe.
I don't
You
know.
gave
I
if you
wasn't
gave
that
Scream
low.
1 a 6, my nigga. I'll meet you off Riverside.
I wasn't that
Avenue
low.
right now. Don't play with me, nigga.
I
Pull the
think-
Yaris
I-
up.
it
I
wasn't
gave it a
that low.
7.
Pull
We'll pull it
the
up. I'll
fucking
pull it up.
Yaris
I'll
up.
pull it up.
7.5,
It's probably
maybe.
going out the same week.
A
So we'll find
6.
out.
Give that movie the same rating you gave fucking Quantum Mania if you want to, and see what the fuck happens.
It was not
Don't
very
play
high
with
on your
me.
list. I do remember that. You did not have it very high.
You tried to play Neve. I sent her a message. She didn't appreciate the shit. You know what I'm saying? We gonna discuss that at a later date. You know what I mean?
Oh man, tell the wrongdoers where they can find you, Antonio.
I don't know. You can find me at A. Devon Johnson. I don't have nothing.
I love how this nigga just runs out of gas.
I am burnt out.
Cam, where can the wrongdoers find you at?
You can find me investing in previously worn movie tank tops at Cam Archer.
You'll be walking around.
Jesus. I can't even find the button that fast.
Because now I'm just
Oh,
imagining
Josh, sick of us.
that shit
Josh,
with
sick of us, man.
the fucking halter top with the nigga.
Oh, that was gonna be my drop. I blew it. Oh man.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's crazy.
LA, where can they find you?
Oh Jesus Christ! This is just gonna be walking around like Ezekiel Elliott, just it's a half tank. You can find me walking around in the Ghostface mask, locking doors from inside and out at Instagram and Twitter on at l.a._GFC on Instagram and LA_GFC on Twitter. More importantly, follow us on the pod, DTWT Pod, on both Instagram and on Twitter. That again is DTWT Pod. You can also find this when it loads up on YouTube at youtube.com/@DTWT Pod. Guys, thank you for joining us for another Running Back Cinema. It's always nice to be good, but it's way more fun to do the wrong thing. We out.
No way, try and keep it posse. I might go back to the old days. Name on a body, I don't leave them with a cold case. Shit getting spooky in this bitch, I feel like Ghostface. Whip Bloody Mary, how it's dripping, ain't got no way. Try and keep it posse, I might go back to the